We're live now. Uh, all right, so I've heard about open code for quite some time, but today I had time to like explore it, and it seems like a really amazing tool. Like the agent driven development, I think open code is the best tool. I have not purchased the cloud code because I already had purchased uh, the cursor, right? So why did I not purchase cloud code? Because wait, I'll mute my, okay, because I don't have a lot of money and I already have a cursor, so I didn't buy cloud. But like this open code is free and open source, like, and you can open it so easily like this. Let me create a new open code, and you can simply type open code here, and this is your terminal, and you can do whatever you want here, right? So let's exit once, cd to desktop, right, and make their md, okay, open code test, cd open code test, right, and here we open the open code. Let me cancel it, sorry for the typo. Now let's go and discuss about how we're going to explore open code today. I hope the font size is not that small to see. If it is, please let me know. I will fix it. Uh, while that being said, let's begin. Okay. So open code is actually open source, unlike the open code that is from uh, OpenAI. OpenAI open code. There used to be open code from OpenAI. So this is not the open. This is the open code actually, but there used to be an open code from OpenAI. I'm not sure if they still have it, but at least there used to be uh, similar software with same name before, but this is actually open source, and it is a terminal application. It is also a desktop application, I think. So if I go and check, so available for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. This is a terminal, right? You can open it in terminal. That I am opening it in terminal actually, but seems like you can download it in desktop as well. But if I can open it in terminal, why would I open it in a desktop application, right? So I'll just type open code. I'll exit first and I'll type open code, and it will be right there in my terminal, right? This is my terminal, and open code is ready to be used, right? So to begin, one thing I have experienced while exploring open code is that it is slow to response, mainly because I am using it for free, right? I'm not paying any money to use any paid models. Like if we go to models, there are multiple models here, right? So I am using the free one, and I think most of the audience and my friends will be using the free models to test it. So I don't want to like demo with um, like these big models when you won't be able to replicate what I can replicate here. So let's be in the same playing field and explore it together. It used to come with big pickle. Let's keep it at big pickle, but you can change the model with like the command slash model, and you can choose whatever it is that you want to use. There are basically 4 models that you can use for free. All right, so let's use Big Pickle for now. And what I had tried earlier is I tried to create a to-do application, not just to-do, but it was a habit management application. But right now it is crashing because like I asked it to make some changes, but I think the database for the authentication is failing. I'll come and fix it later. We are not going to the level of authentication yet, but maybe I can ask my Cloud Code that um, do not I want to exit it with double escape and run the app without authentication for now, but use user one, but do not commit, don't commit the code. It's just for testing, it's just for testing. All right, so while it does that, we can go and check the open code. So basically you can download it in terminal or desktop environment. I am using it as a terminal here because if I can open it in terminal, this terminal, that means I can open it in any terminal. Let's say I open VS Code. All right, VS Code, everybody is using VS Code, right? So VS Code, let's open a VS Code, right? And you can see new terminal here, right? And here open code, if I type open code, sorry again, I'm too excited, I think. Open code, I should be able to open code right from within this folder, right? And this is a superpower, all right, because what it enables is you can even run it in the server. You can just install open code on server and you can just open as if it was the application installed in the server. So while I was just showing this window for test, let's go back here. Now now this command is what you will use to install it in the terminal, but you can also install it with npm or bun or brew or paro. Like brew is for Mac, bun and npm is for every other platforms, right? And I'm not sure about this part what it is. And you can also install desktop application. While we did this, hopefully it fixed something for us. No, it has not fixed anything for us, so it seems to be failing. I want it to test it E2E and let me know once it's working. All right, so we have put this open code instance for work. Now let's go to a different instance and try to create a new application. So cd and desktop, right, and cd open code. I don't think we have anything here. What we will do is we'll open, come on, open code, and here we will be creating a, let's say, Next.js application from the start, right? And if any of you in the chat want to build anything as a test here, you can comment it in the comment section and we'll try to build it. All right, so let's create first a Next.js application, because that what seems to be the common standard of building web application in the 2026, right? And there is Vue as well, but like Next.js seems to be the go-to choice. Given that it also has some problems that we can discuss in some other videos, but for the starters, Next.js should be a pretty good choice. So let's start. Create a basic to do. No, let's create a portfolio application. Basic, no, blogging site. Let's create a blogging site. Okay, basic blogging site where I can put blogs is markdown files, and it has it has blogs in the theme of I forgot what that site was. Let me find it. Social, I think it should be social media automation tools. There used to be a sort buffer to who make. Oh, did I forgot it? Okay, let's go and check real blogs. Real, right? And I think real, yeah. So if we go to docs, this is docs support company. This does not seem to have blog section. Yeah, okay, blogs. But why is Realm down? That's so bad. What kind of blog do we want then? Okay, dev.to blogs, right? Here we can see the list of blogs, but it does not look that attractive. But you know what? Let's begin with dev.to blogs. Okay. Theme of dev.to, and we can create blogs from the same page with a little form where we can input the markdown. Okay, let's go. So this is the like plan it makes. It first like sets up the project structure and then like creates HTML page. Did we not mention create a basic blogging site? Okay, I think I forgot to tell. Uh, I forgot to tell it that that the site shall be built in Next.js. Okay. After this, initialize the Next.js application, do all the crazy things, right? It does everything it by itself. Meanwhile, we can go and you know what? Let's not worry about the project that I was working on earlier. So what's the tab? All right, exit this and exit this, 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 and also exit this, and we'll keep only this one for now. So this means this site is not going to work, but meanwhile we can go and explore the docs of it. Okay, and it has a really amazing docs as well. The reason like Yeah, we could just go and ask it to write the code, but like I'm damn sure like open code also needs us to follow some rules to use it properly, right? So let's go and check what rules open code wants us to follow and what kind of configuration or file structure it requires us to maintain so that it open code can perform the best for us. Okay. Yeah, it's an open source coding agent, blah blah blah. Yeah, we all know it, right? uh, it just says like it can be installed in all these terminal platforms. You can install like this. Yeah, these are all the installation process. Right now, uh, you can ask OpenID add new features. Okay. Oh, okay. So what it means is, how can you use open code? First, you can ask question, how authentication is handled in this particular file, right? So when we are working in a code base, either we are looking at a old file or we're looking at somebody else's code, but we want to know about it or we are going to work on it next, right? So we need to understand what's happening in the code base. So basically this will explain it to you how this particular file is working. On top of that, you can also ask it to add features into the code base, right? So this is how you can ask. When user deletes a node, you would like to flag it as deleted in the database, then create a screen that allows all the recently deleted nodes. From that screen, the user can undelete the node and permanently delete it. Basically like a trash or a recycle bin, whatever you are familiar with. Yeah, lovely Wist, you can join it, but I'm not sure what do you mean by you can join it? Can you elaborate, please? Like, we are not on a Discord right now, and if you mean whether you can join or not in this live, I think you're already joined. So if you clarify by what you mean by can I join, I would be able to better respond there. Now, um, yeah, you can ask OpenCode to build feature, and you can ask it to iterate and plan, right? So basically one of the best things these coding agents do is not just coding, but they help you make plans, right? So it seems like it's already done. Well, really, I did not expect it to be done. No, it's not done. The site isn't live. Please fix it, right? And before telling it's ready next time, please, please, please make sure the back end and the front end are available. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Like, these coding agents are really quick beginner developer. We need to tell them everything, right? So did it run? Did it run? Site. Okay. It is testing. All right. It is testing. So basically what you do is you call a site and you check if it has some result into it, right? So that's how it's testing, and it is like sleeping for 5 seconds, then curling again on the front end, right? And you see there is HTML in it, right? Yeah, so there is HTML in it, so it must be live. It must be live, right? Yeah, so it says it's live, and I think it's also live because in the curl of 3000, yeah, it is live. You see, just like this, it gave us a blogging site, right? Let's try to create a random blog. Sorry for typing all these things which I don't know what I'm typing, but I don't care. Right, let's publish it, and boom, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's really amazing. Can we filter it? Yeah, we can filter it with tags as well. But it broke now. Shit, what happened? Bro, it broke. What happened? It was working. There must be some issues happening. Okay. It says 3. Okay. Yeah. 3000 is live again. It crashed while seeking this. Yeah, it seems like that's not the case. And it could have been some other reason. For now we can close these tabs, right? And only open our site, right? So one thing that if you notice, it's a little bit hard to read the blog, right? So let's ask it to fix it. The content of the blog seems to be little unreadable when it's in light mode. Can you please add a dark or light toggle on top right corner of the app, and also fix the theme so that I can read the blog and also read what I am typing while creating the blog. Okay, it is queued. It will do something and it will come back to us. Meanwhile, we can go back to exploring the open code. So we can ask question if we are confused, right? So uh, this is the actual like the site building tab, right? I want to create another tab that will do uh, like other testing that we do. All right. So cd sorry exit cd desktop, and we were inside open code, cd open code, right? But let's not go there. md test, right? cd test, and here we will do everything that we want to test. All right, so one thing we could ask is, well, tell me how React is different from Next JS. It's not same, right? Or is it? Tell me as if I am the dumbest guy. Okay. Meanwhile, it will prepare the results. We can go and check what's happening here. It's cooking, and what it replies. The beauty of it is you can stay on the terminal and learn about it simply like that. And it's just terminal, you can use it anywhere. Like I tried to install it in my phone with Tormax, but I was not able to use it. But sooner rather than later, this thing will be usable even in your phone. I can beat that. And once that will happen, we will be able to start building application even from the mobile, which used to be a difficult thing before. before, because programming used to be typing everything before, but now reading everything. So it might be a little bit possible to write programs from a mobile in coming years. Maybe in next year, like we might be able to see open code in our phone. I don't know, but maybe true. So it is trying to install some like beautification into it. Meanwhile, we can again go back and check what it does. Like first, we can plan it, right? Let's say a you want to build a company, right? Okay, let's brainstorm with it. Okay, I wanna build, but you know what? I think you have already seen it in other YouTube videos and channel trying to brainstorm with AI. So I don't think that will be anything beneficial when I try to do it here. So let's not do that. I have done it before, and you have seen it before. So let's not waste a lot of time. Rather, let's try to explore the open code instead of the models, because I think we all have done fair share of exploring in case of models. Now it can make changes, undo changes. So basically, if we need to add authentication to the setting route, all right, like that is the most basic thing that you do once you complete a MVP, right? Again, not MVP, like the first, when the first shot of the command runs or outputs us with the good website or application, the second thing we would be doing is authentication, right? So basically, this is how you can ask to add authentication. We need to add authentication to the setting route. Take a look at how this is handled in the nodes route. Okay, basically it's asking to take a reference from the nodes route. We can do that in open code, and almost every coding agent these days, they are smart enough to handle this and implement the same logic in the setting. Now if you ask like this, I'm not sure how much of it will be abstracted out, because there will be common code in nodes and setting as well, right? So I'm not sure, like I think it will depend on the model that we're using, but yeah, you can ask. You can also undo things. Oh, okay. But you can realize that it's not wanted, so you can undo the change using the undo command. All right, so basically this is beauty, that is beauty, undo. Yeah, so it will roll back everything it did since your last command did. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I didn't know that. That's why we are reading, right? And again, we can redo as well. Open code will now revert the changes. Okay, it is mainly for two different reasons, right? So most of the time when you do undo, it's not only because you want to delete the changes, it's also because you want to see what was it like in the past. And once you see that, you want to come back to the future, right? That's when this redo feature will come into play. Now this is the introduction. Let's go to the configuration part, and this is where the beauty of configuration in open code comes, because open code's configuration not only work for open code, but other AI tools or coding platforms, also coding agents also use these settings from open code. And basically it uses the open standard for the configuration. So opencode.json, see, basically it is JSON config, right? And this is the schema, like what's the standard it's going to follow, right? This is the standard it's going to follow. and then it will basically do all the other stuffs regarding the configuration. So which model to use, which theme to use. So basically you can choose theme if you didn't know. Theme, if you choose theme, you can just change different themes. So Catpuccini is my favorite, so I'll keep it as Catpuccini, but you can change it to anything. So basically these are the settings. Location, you can place your config in couple of different location and they have different orders of precedence. Now here comes the important thing, because I think, okay, this is my guess, but I think based on where you put the configuration file, it will have a different level of authority over the code. Most likely, as if you put configuration in a folder, it can govern all the folders inside it, but not above it, right? So I think that may be the way it handles. Let's go and check. Configuration files are merged together, not replaced. Okay, okay, okay. You can place your configuration is in couple of different location, but they have different orders of precedence. All right. Configuration file are merged together, not replaced. All right. They are merged like almost every configuration file. They are merged because like what you add its configuration on top of what is default needs to be merged to give the final configuration for every single platform, not just web, not just mobile, for almost everything. Setting from the following configuration location are combined. Later configuration override earlier one only for conflicting keys. Okay, so what it says is settings from the following config locations are combined. These are the location it's trying to tell. Later configuration override the earlier ones. So I don't know what it means by later here, but we will know what it means by later here. It must mean like a child folder or something. Non-conflicting settings will be all preserved. All right. So it's like oring all the configuration, but in case of conflicts, it will use the latest one. Precedence order. Configuration source are loaded in this order. Later source override the earlier ones. Remote config from well-known start open code. Okay, this is the like open code configuration, right? Global configuration comes from the open code's global configuration that is done throughout the application, right? Well known, it is well known open code is, I think, configuration about the organization, right? So let's try to ask, right? Because why not? Why not? What do you mean to say with this line in your docs? Okay, it has given us the difference between React and Next.js. React is just a library for building user interface. It's like engine for car. It handles how things look and react to user input, but nothing else. Okay. Next.js is full framework built on top of the React. It's like entire car. It includes React Engine Plus, routing, everything. So React is about rendering things. Next.js is about building the whole application. All right. Rendering and UI. I would put UI also as a part of rendering. Now it has answered it. I need to check the open code documents to give you the accurate answer about this specific line. Okay, it gave this, right? The line means organization can set default open code setting to all their developer automatically. All right, that's what it means. So you're a part of organization and your organization would set certain configuration in your open code, right? Like it may be styling guide. It may be um, architecture, right? It may be like, what else can it be? It can be architecture, lints, right? Basically, rules that they want to enforce into it. And now there will be AI or LLM configuration as well. Yeah, React is just library, yes. Uh, yeah, it is open code CLI, um, game of nail. Yeah, it is open code CLI indeed. If something is in CLI, I think we should, as developers, prefer to use the CLI instead of GUI, because CLI can be used from anywhere, any platform, right? It can be used in server, it can be used in Linux, it can be used in Windows, right? Or Mac, almost anywhere, same interface, almost same commands, right? So the skill will translate easily when you use terminal interfaces. So that's why I prefer it. Now, precedence order. Okay, first it will fetch the organization's configuration. Then it will look for users' global configuration. If there are any configuration that conflict with these two configuration, yeah, it's like blindly trusting the agent. Now, like it is, it is a big dilemma, to be honest, because like we can review the code. Actually, we can review the code. We can definitely review the code. Let me show you how. We can definitely review the code. All right, cd desktop, and here we have cd open, and we can do like code, right? And here we have this devlog, right? You know what? We can even go one step deep. Cd devlog code this. We can close this one, and we will be presented with this VS Code, right? Now, as you can see here, we can see all the files that are changed. We can open the terminal, new terminal, right? And we can put it in the left, right? And we can do open code, right? Not only that, you can open lazy git here, and you can check everything that is changed. You can just switch the terminal, right? And you can do whatever, you can ask whatever you want to ask. You can either use the GUI to review the code, or you can use tools like LazyGit to review the code, right? So until now, I think the major thing that developer did used to be writing the code. So most of the tools that we use today are optimized to write code. But slowly but surely, these tools will be optimized to review the code, right? And one of the most important skill for developer, I think, I believe, in next years or coming years, will be reading code, and reading code quick, and not just reading, finding the problem in the code quick by reading them. So reading skill is, I think, even more important now, because AI will spit out code so freaking fast. And at least, even if we do not need to write the code, we will need to read the code. So there it is, the hot take. We need to read quick, read fast in coming days. Yeah, I hope you saw like how we can review the code done by this particular AI. All right. So if you still think reviewing is difficult, I don't know how I can make it easier for you, to be honest. But yeah, it is possible. Reviewing is possible. You can use terminal application like legit to review, or you can use GitHub's, VS Codes, or almost every single other forks of VS Code, that is Gravity and anti-gravity, Cursor, Windsurf, whatever you call them. They will always have this tab for source control. You can go and check files sensed here. All right. So let's move this aside. All right. And let's come back. Let's come back here. And it is using the precedence here, right? Yeah. Now open code's configuration will be overriding any conflicting configuration is in global configuration, right? Now I don't know what it means by like this custom configuration and project configuration. I will need to learn little bit about it, because I am also new. I am just seeing it for the first time, just like you. But basically these are like, this is the global configuration of open code. That means this configuration will be applied to every single project that we write. And this is about the organization configuration. If you are a part of organization and organization enforces some open code standards or configuration, there will be this. Now comes the custom configuration. Like there are global configuration, but you might have overridden certain custom configuration for certain cases. I don't know how we will use it, but there it is. Then there will be project configuration, right? So project configuration can override the open code. You know what? Let's ask it. What is custom configuration? Right? Why leave it unlearned, right? What do you mean by custom configs when there are already global config and project config? What is this config doing in the middle of them two? Okay, while it answers, we can go and read next. Project setting. All right, inline configuration, open code. Okay, this is project configuration. This is .open code directory inside the project, right? And then there is inline configuration, open code config content, runtime override. So basically this is the configuration that you do when you are running this command, right? So for example, if you already have some configuration, but you tell certain commands while you are asking open code to build something for you, in that case this runtime or inline configuration will be used, and they will be discarded as soon as you exit out of the session from open code. I hope that is good. How many? Okay, we are 11 people. Oh, I didn't expect that 11, but thanks guys. Now, oh, it explains it. We're just, yeah, that is good. We're confused, right? But I always like side on, or I always support being confused, because only confusion can create curiosity, and only curiosity can, you know, help us understand things deeply and in its whole. So we were confused. That is good. Now let's go and check what they mean by remote configuration, right? Organization can provide default configuration via well-known /open code endpoint, right? And this is fetched automatically when you authenticate with a provider that it supports it. Okay, all right. So yeah, when you're logging in and you're a part of organization in open code, your organization can enforce certain rules inside open code which will be stored inside well-known.opencode, and that will take the most global precedence. That will be the starting point of the configuration inside your computer. All right, now it will, for example, the organization may provide MCP server that are disabled by default. So MCPs may be disabled by default in the organization's configuration, right? But then you can flip it in your local. Local means in my global configuration. Place your global open config in config opencode opencode.json and use global configuration for user-wide preference like theme, providers, key binding, etc. and etc. And you can even override these things here. Now comes the project. Really? I think custom came before here. Okay. Not sure where this open code config will go. Where will it go? Environmental variable? Okay. Open code config is environment variable. What does it say? What does it say? Okay, let's read it. Let's make it big. The open code config env var is a special situation where you need to provide your normal configuration flow. Why it exists between global and project temporary config. I want to test this different model for just this terminal session. Export open code config equals to, oh, okay. So basically, just for running that session, you can export it as a temporary environmental variable, or it can be different as well. It can be different as well. Different tools are environment. My VS Code extension needs different setting than my terminal, right? So open code config equals to VS Code open code config. Okay, VS Code also has open code inside it. Let's assume that's what it does. We cannot take everything as if it was fact when it is being spitted by LLMs. CI/CD pipelines. Okay, basically you can, this is like what I understood it is, first it is well known, it has a concrete path, right? Well known / open code. Then there is global config, which is inside .config / open code, and then there is a custom path. You can provide any file as a configuration for open code, and you would put that path of that particular file in this environmental variable called open node underscore open code underscore config. That's what it is. And there will be project related configuration as well, which will stay inside the project, and most probably they will be pushed up and forth between multiple people that will be collaborating in the project. But this opencode.config will be private to you, and it will reside inside your environmental variable. It is purely private configuration just for you. And then inline configuration, right? So basically, what is the difference between open code config / content and just config? That is a little bit different. Then how does it differ from this? Let's ask it. Great question. The difference is how the config is provided. Open code config custom config file, it points to a file. Okay, open code config content inline config. So basically you tell it while you are on a terminal session contains actual JSON content as a string Must, must be a valid JSON, no comments. Good for one of overrides, CI/CD or container. All right. So basically, when you are in an open code session, you use open code content where you provide the actual JSON itself. But open code underscore config, you just provide the path. That's it. Nothing difficult. But it took some time to understand it. All right. Remote is well known. Yeah, this is the well known part, right? Organization part. This is the global. This is the per project part. This will always be inside the project directory, right? Open code.json. That is the most common one. That's what a rule used to be normally. And then custom path, and that is environment variable, right? This is what environment variable is doing. Export open code config to this particular file. Yeah, that's it. Custom directory. Okay. Okay, this is important. This is important. Custom directory. It was not mentioned here custom directory, but custom directory is even more important, I think, in my judgment, because what custom directory does is it does not define just one file. It can define multiple files. One file can be about where did it go? Custom path project. Yeah, one can be about agents, another can be about commands, right? And like there could be multiple files into it. The custom directory is loaded after the config global configuration open code directory, so it can override their setting from open code. Like the global configuration will be loaded first, then the custom directory will be loaded, and it will contain multiple files. Let's see what it says here. Specify custom config directory using open code custom directory environment variable. This directory will be searched for agents, commands, modes, plugin, just like the standard .open code directory, and should follow the same structure. All right. So it's not just a configuration file, but it's the whole configuration folder as if it was the global configuration folder, like this config.open code, its replacement or its temporary counterpart it is, it seems. All right, it can be fetched from the server as it says. In TUI you can configure terminal user interface specific setting through the TUI option. Yeah, so when you are in a TUI, like there will be different stuffs that you want to, like maybe do you want to display the scroll bar on the side or not? Do you want to use acceleration, like when you like pull your mouse with hard rotation, should it like rotate fast or slow based on that? Like there are multiple configuration like that. So there can be yeah, here are lots of configuration that are possible, but we will go to that the next one. But meanwhile, let's go ahead and check. I think we got too distracted in trying to exploring it. Let's check if our site is live. But our site is not still live. Why is that? It's not live. Our site isn't live. Bro, please test it. Please test it before saying completed. I think I said the same thing before as well. And that's what these LLMs are bad at. They know how to follow instruction, but they don't understand what it means. and remember it as they are, because they are just statistical model. But on top of these statistical model, there are other inferencing engines. On top of the inference engine, there are other application in the pipeline that actually makes an LLM, is the process of trying to understand what the user is saying, not just trying to spit out next word based on the statistical record, right? So I think that particular thing is not doing really great here. But let's like give it some time, and we go back to reading the document itself, because you may think, okay, why I am reading the document? You can just open the terminal and write it, right? But the reason we are using open code is we want to be fast, we want to be reliable, right? So if we just ask, okay, build me a blogging website to any LLM, what they will do is they will just go and like, make a blogging web page, but it won't have the architecture that you want. It won't have the, you know, standards that you want to follow. It won't have authentication that you want. It won't have the theme or design of the application that you want, right? So there are multiple and many things that it won't have. Now, yeah, now this site seems to be doing good, but like this theme toggle is not working. Hopefully it will work, but now we can at least read it, right? We can even read the code. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. It has come up with a blogging site for us, right? And that being said, there are lots of things we can change here. First would be like maybe adding a photo in each blog, right? That would add additional work to the blog writer. But the blog will look attractive when somebody wants to open it. But again, who reads blog these days, right? We are finding it difficult to even read the blog of open code that is the documentation for the application that we're going to use as one of the major tools for developing softwares in coming days. Who will read the blogs? That's a big question. But if we stop writing blogs, the knowledge will stop. The open knowledge will stop at least, because whatever you type and whatever code there is and whatever the AIs did to fix it, the knowledge will be stored only inside the servers of these big LLM providers, and the actual knowledge will not be open to the world. Just like you cannot have the designs of like chips like this i3, i5, i7, or like ARM processor or NVIDIA chips, CUDAs, right? AMD, uh, MacBook M1, M2, M3 chips. Like none of the chips or anything close to these chips have any knowledge in the open world right now, because every single of these intelligence are owned by these companies. So if like common person wants to build a processor tomorrow, it's not possible at all for them going to like, okay, I want to take the design of this AMD chip and then or something like this, and then I want to make these little bit of like minor tweaking on the like TPU a region of this chip, and like create a new one so that it can handle the AI work easily. We cannot do that right now because all the knowledge is proprietary there. And I think that may be the case even in building software if people stop writing blogs, because what is the open knowledge if it's not blogs? Books? I don't think so. Books are mainly for reference purposes, but like they don't have real world failure cases. And like if we try to like add all the failure cases, as all the edge cases in a book, the book will be bigger than the room itself, I think. Yeah, so people should not stop writing blogs. Okay, then we can select the models. Amazon Bedrock. Okay, these are the agents. Okay. Okay, now you can even share this particular conversation to the world, right? So whatever conversation I am having, I can share it, right? Now, if I go to if I go to this site, really, it's really, it says it's copied to clipboard, but my clipboard doesn't get it. All right, my I can see the thing that you put into clipboard. Is there any permission needed? Permission to provide? There can be a permission issue. No, there. Okay, what does it say? Uh, 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 uh. All right, I can see there are no clipboard involved. The issue is likely that the same blog posts aren't showing. No, 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 no. That's not the case. That's not the case. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, okay, let's go and discuss in this one. So let's share this conversation that I'm having here so that you guys can also check it out, right? Now, the share URL copy to clipboard, it says, right? But if I paste it, it does not show any URL, right? Now, what I do is when I try to share, it says copy to clipboard, but it doesn't have a URL in my clipboard. Why? Okay, let it answer this. Hmm. Sharing, all right. I can share it. It is possible, it seems, but my clipboard sharing is not working for some reason. Let me check the documentation. Okay, share. It will check for the documentation and come back to us. Basically, I want to be able to share the communication or like conversation that I'm having with open code right now to the world, and then like others can converse or see what I was talking about as well. That's quite a nice feature. Key bindings, you can customize your key binding. All right, even the shortcuts. Now that's nice. It has its own shortcut. That's really powerful and beautiful. You can customize things like that's crazy. And here are the key bindings that you can do. Message copy, input selection. All right, there are lots of. This is beautiful. Like you have a terminal. Sorry, okay. If you are in VS Code, you can have a terminal inside it. And inside that terminal, you can open a terminal application which will have its own shortcuts that you can override and customize. That is amazing. That is really amazing. That's so freaking amazing. Yeah. Okay. Did it reply? It's still replying. Okay. Okay. It's testing the clipboard access. All right. Auto update. Open code will automatically download. Okay. That is not a big configuration. Then there is formatters, right? You can configure code formatters through formatter options, just like you can do in VS Code, right? And formatter, yeah, prettier formatter is disabled here, and other formatters are used. Okay, but why? Okay, npx prettier. All right, npx prettier, right? To the file. Okay, I did not quite get it, to be honest. What's this doing? But I don't care much about formatting, and I'm quite fine with what it provides. So I'll leave it like that. Cannot You cannot know everything at first in one shot. It is like learning and reading is a really cognitive cognitively heavy thing to do, reading. So that's why I think lots of software developer in coming years are going to have this hard time that they have to read a lot of code, and reading is more difficult. Reading and understanding is really difficult and energy consuming than writing code and thinking. So at least I believe so, because normally I can work for 8, 9, 10 hours straight, but I fall asleep within like half an hour or 1 hour of starting to read. And I think that's the case with most of the people. So it is going to be a different thing making these AI models or AI agents work. Okay. What happens? What did he say? Check the documentation. All right. Combination, no provider configured. Sharing requires authentication with provider that supports like OpenCode Gen network plug. The issue is check your setup first. I think I haven't connected, right? Connected. Okay. OpenCode, and like I need to log in with Google. Okay, what the hell, bro? Even its authentication is broken. Now it says your browser is unknown. Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like authentication, yeah. Authentication problem. I understand. Okay, now this is the uh, this is the API key. Now, yeah, OpenGen. Okay, I have already connected. And then check your config. Okay, I think now I can share. Unshare. Now share session unshare. Okay, now it is copied to clipboard. Can we paste it? No. Really? How on earth is not copying to clipboard? It's okay. You know what? I'll share variables. Unshare and then share. Share, unshare, and I'll do variables as well. Share. Shit. Unshare, then share space variables. Okay, let's. You can run shares on directly since I'm not OpenCode TUI interface. I need to run that command under OpenCode's terminal session. However, let's help you troubleshoot. What does it say? Okay, I think maybe we should stop it here today and continue to explore it tomorrow. I think this is already tired, my open code, and I am too, and it's already like 11:50 p.m. at my night. So yeah, let's connect again some other time, maybe tomorrow night, and we should be able to understand open code better, because I believe open code is here to stay for sure, because this is a really polished application and it solves problem in a really different way than most of the other do. So you can use it for free. It solves problem in a really different way. You can use it with any IDE or terminal. That you can use it with Cloud. Sorry, you can use it with VS Code or Gravity, Anti-Gravity or Cursor or any other tools whatsoever. You can even use it with IntelliJ IDEA, right? Or like Emacs or anything that has terminal in it. Maybe you can even use it in Obsidian, that is like a note writing application. So I believe open code is going to be a really good, really good tool to use, and I will continue using it. That's why I want to learn more about it, and I'll share my learning on the live session again next time.